Welcome back to another episode of the CRL Podcast. My name is Caleb Smith, driver of the High Five Racing 54 truck and ARCA car on Monday and Wednesday nights, joined by Jacob and Rob.
This is your boy Jakob Grant, owner of Grant Designs and driver of the 19 truck and 19 car on Mondays and Wednesdays.
This is your other boy again, Rob Sherwood, driver of the 93 ARCA car on Wednesday and truck on Mondays.
Yeah, and speaking of Monday nights, we just got done with our dash race to set the qualifying order for the race Monday night on OSR Network. Jacob, you ended up winning that race. You just want to kind of walk us through, how that came to be. I know we were kind of aggressive all night, the High Five Racing guys. We were kind of controlling the top three rows, and then kind of chaos ensued from there.
Yeah, well, going into the race, we had all talked about just wanting to get up front and dominate, and figured that was the best option to win the race is just get out front, stay out front, and hope you don't get moved or wrecked out of the way. And we did a pretty good job at doing that. I know I stayed behind Michael Hayes for a good bit, keeping him out front, and then we kind of fell back. And there towards the middle of the race or the end of the race, we were going three wide, which was very fun. Like that, it's been a while since we've been able to go around Daytona three wide for like 6 or 7 rows deep, and we did it for like 10 to 12 laps, and it felt like 30. But yeah, we had Mike on the inside, me in the middle, and you and Steve on the outside, just controlling the three lanes. And the late caution came out, which got everybody to, or got four of us on high five to get out front on a restart. We stacked up, luckily, on the outside lane, and we just jumped to the outside and passed everybody. And then caution flew again, so we started 1 through 4, and the goal from there was to just take off and go and clog the lanes and beat everybody. One of the high five trucks was winning that race, and we got Jordan Trask. So love you, Jordan, but we got Jordan Trask. He ran over Steve, trying to make that inside line go a little bit faster, and it just didn't work out that way. He wrecked Steve into me and into Chris, and then I hooked Mike and was able to keep it straight and somehow still won the race. I don't know how they scored that right. I don't even know if it's correct, but we'll take it. I get to start up front, and I got you starting behind me, Caleb.
Yeah, I mean it was definitely a fun race. That was my first that was my first league race back with CRL Truck Series since coming out of the broadcasting booth with Joe and OSR Network. Rob, how was your race? Kind of navigating through the chaos at the end.
Do I have to talk about it?
We can talk about it.
I just give me to Michigan. Fuck super speedways. I hate
Y-
super speedway racing so much.
You always have a bad time every time we've ever
Dude,
been to a
it's
super speedway.
every time we go to a super speedway, I either fuck myself getting to pit road or I get caught up in a wreck. There's no in between. Not a single. I think there's been one time I've gone to a super speedway where, and that's the only race I won. And it was, I didn't have either one of those things happen. Don't even remember it because it feels so long ago. But I mean, yeah, no, I was trying to make sure we saved enough fuel for the end there, and yeah, I felt like I had put myself in a good spot to kind of just get a solid finish. I was in eighth place on the last restart. Didn't really expect to win from there, but guys were pushing all over the place, and I just this is my rant. I hate super speedway racing on iRacing because the expectation is that there's a wreck on the last lap. It's just a given. everybody just kind of deals with it, and I hate that. I want to get to the end of a race with one of these things. I understand shit's gonna happen sometimes, but like going into it knowing that there's gonna be a wreck on the last lap, no matter what I do, is very frustrating. I hate that. That's just a personal thing. But I mean, unfortunately, guys from 10th on back were pushing like, trying to get a few more spots, and everybody just kind of stacked up. I felt like I felt like I had a shot to miss it. I saw everybody wrecking in front of me, and obviously you never know with the way that carnage ensues. But I didn't really have a chance. I got hit from behind and spun out. So restarted eighth, and I think I finished 18th. I don't even fucking remember, but it's not great. It's not great. So it was frustrating. I was very
And
frustrated. But yeah, it is what it is. It's like I said, I will be excited when we get past the super speedway portion and get to the second race personally.
yeah, no, I completely understand that. Jacob knows I hate speedway racing or super speedway racing with a passion. It is once it starts, I want it to be over. Um, because I mean, like you said, it's just no matter what happens, the wreck's going to happen. It's just a matter of when it's going to happen. I was
Yeah.
involved in every single one of those wrecks Monday night. Uh, let's see the first one. Um, Dad said I hit him, which I don't think I
I
fucking
mean,
did.
do we trust his judgment though? Because
I
I gotta
no
question it.
no we don't because I don't think I hit him. Um, so I scraped through that one. I don't think I hit anyone. Um, second one,
when
um,
hang on, when you say dad, you do mean Papa Smith, Chris Smith,
yes,
right?
yes, Papa
Smith.
Smith, Papa Smith. Yeah, and so
Just for the viewers who don't know.
yeah, yeah. So that was the first one. I don't really remember the second one. Yeah, I don't really remember the second caution. The third caution, Tyler had kind of something had happened on the low lane, or no, in the middle. Dad had hit him, and then they kind of come together, and that sent Tyler up into me, who is in the high lane. I was pushing Steve. That's when we were all three wide, and I ended up flipping upside down, and then landed back on my wheels. And then, of course, so I got that fixed. It was like 21 seconds of damage, which I was shocked with that. And then the final restart happened. The final restart happened, and that's when the Jordan incident happened with Steve. And I was I was joking around with Mike Kelly because on that restart I kept peeking my nose out to form a third lane because I was getting ready to push Mike to the front because I wanted to be there. And as soon as he seen what I was doing, he jumped out. And as soon as he jumped out, that's when I seen smoke, and I had Crank Bell sideways. I like T-boned him up against the wall, and somehow I finished third with a car that was involved in every single wreck and flipped upside down the caution before. So I did my interview with Wayne. It's like I never left the booth. Um, so hopefully we can keep that streak going, and I can talk to Joe again on Monday night. You said
Speaking
what?
about Wayne, and being in the broadcast booth, I think him and Joe are going to mesh pretty well, and that's going to turn into a pretty nice broadcast. That's going to be like you never left.
Yeah, and that's that was my concern about leaving the booth and all of that. I enjoyed being up there with Joe and seeing the races from a different perspective. I had always been the one racing and now I'm the one commentating. So it was fun seeing the different perspective and commentating. My heart definitely was racing on some of those races I was commentating just as much as it would if I was racing. So that's no different. I still get um, I still got excited when watching the races and all of that. And that's kind of why I wanted to come back and start racing again. But after listening to Wayne Monday night with the dash. I have no doubt in my mind that him and Joe are going to mesh very well together, and I know Joe's going to be happy. Um, yeah, and for everyone watching, you can catch the opening round or the opening race for the CRL Truck Series presented by Ghost Athletics Monday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time on OSR Network, and that's where Jacob's gonna lead us to the green flag, um, and hopefully one of us can
Let's
win.
go, baby. Yeah, we're gonna wreck all the S&B boys. That's our goal.
Just get me through the race. I don't even care. Just get me through it.
What's the? I'm not even worried about Daytona anymore. What's the second race of the season?
Michigan.
Oh well, that
Michigan, that's gonna be fun. It's always a good race at Michigan. And Chris Smith, that's probably the closest he's ever came to winning. And
I
I know he's been longing for a win. So between Daytona and Michigan, first two races, they'd stack out well for him to get that first win.
Well, to be fair, he's got to beat the long shot boys, and until that happens, I'm picking the long shot boys.
I mean, I just proved I can beat him.
if
Oh yeah,
if
speaking of which, we need to introduce that competition tonight, where we select our drivers. To our listeners, we're going to pick a race winner throughout the season for every week, and we can only pick that person one time. So once they're burned, they're burned. So we're gonna do that. Just kind of have a little side competition, the three of us.
oh man. All right, so who's your pick for Monday night?
I mean, I gotta stay with long shot. Yeah, I'm torn. It's like which one of them do you pick? I think I'm gonna go Dusty. I'm gonna go Dusty Martin.
Dusty again for Daytona.
Dusty's Dusty's a good pick. You got him running back to back.
Yeah. I think he's going back to back. I debated between him and Eric, but I think I'm gonna do Dusty again.
He if you're saying are you saying back to back because he won last season? Because he won two
Correct.
seasons
Yes.
ago.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Crank
Well,
Crank won
then
last year.
he's okay.
Oh,
Well, then
okay,
he's
never
come.
mind.
You know.
I see they just win. You don't
Yeah.
even know which one it is at this point.
Yeah.
They're just winners.
Can't keep up. It's
That
fine.
I'm I'm kind of history says Jacob's going to win.
What is said
Uh,
history?
so when I was in the booth for the seasons I was there, Dusty won the Dash, Dusty won Daytona. He won both races. Go to the next season, which is last season. Crank wins the Dash, Crank wins Daytona.
So that's an
Jacob,
interesting trend that you bring up, and not to downplay our our co-podcaster over here. Um, the thing that you mentioned in both of those things and those stats, again, as we talked about, long shot was involved. So it
yeah,
might be a long shot for Jacob to win on Monday. No offense to our boy Jacob, but those guys are freaks at super speedways.
I just hope he doesn't waste his pick on me at Daytona.
oh,
There's
Oh
plenty of other tracks that
no.
I can go and win.
Yeah, that listen, we're saving you for another day. At least we are over here.
so my pick is I'm a little biased here, but these are the tracks he performs best at when he doesn't get wrecked. I'm gonna go Papa Smith, Chris Smith. Um, I think he's gonna
Okay.
get his I think he's gonna get his first CRL Truck Series victory Monday night. Um, and High Five's gonna break that trend of long shot winning at plate tracks. But yeah, no, if I can, I'm gonna push him to the win. I think that'd be great. Um,
Father
but
son 1-2 finish.
yeah, I think that'd be amazing. I've already won in the series, so and I'm pretty confident I can point my way in. So if I can push him, I'm gonna push him. Um, but yeah, so that's my pick, Chris Smith for the win. Jacob, what you got?
I think I'm gonna go with Zach Peterson.
I respect that,
He
actually.
he
That's
honestly like he honestly every plate track he always finds himself up front. Whether
let
he
me
gets wrecked or causes a wreck or is there to finish the race on somewhere up front. He's there.
I feel like I need to give our listeners some context. Zachary Peterson, I can honestly say, is the only person on iRacing I've ever seen that has super speedway weeks on iRacing circled on his calendar. I mean, the man runs dozens of races on those weeks. Don't know how he finds the time, but he's like a kid at Christmas on those weeks. He will legitimately text us talking about how excited he is. It's actually insane to me.
I
It's a special for me.
I
That's all
can't
I
do
can say.
even when NASCAR goes to like road courses, I can't like the thought of
Yeah, you
running
can't
more than
just
one
keep go
race.
running them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, the thought of running more than one race just like I'm drenched in sweat by the time I'm
Yep.
done with one
Well,
race, and
like I enjoy, like I can see where he gets his enthusiasm for it from, but the problem is doing it in officials. Like if we just had a group of guys that would just love to get on and just do some plate racing and go 3 and 4 wide and have that excitement, I'd be down for it. But I can't force myself to run plate races and officials.
I've
Uh,
always wanted to run the Daytona 500. But the thought of running 200 laps with a bunch of fucking idiots, I don't know if I can do that. Um,
no.
and you know, I would say my I rating's decent. It's not like pro level or anything. I think it's 2.3, 2.4, somewhere in there. Um, so like I would get a decent split for the 500, but
My I
not.
rating doesn't cover my skill level. It
Oh,
doesn't match.
none of our I ratings do. We don't run official, Jacob.
No, not at all. Actually, Josh and I were just talking about that the other day, because he always brings up how trippy it is to see my I rating, because I think my I rating is like a 1600 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a low I rating, but it that definitely doesn't define the skill level that you have.
Well, that's the nicest thing you've ever said. But also, it also helps when you go into official races and you just keep getting wrecked repeatedly.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll make you not want to do it anymore. That's kind of where I'm at with it. It's I'm just tired of getting wrecked for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're at the point where we're just going to only put time into it when we want to. And if it's not enjoyable for us, we're not going to. And you especially, because you're running what, four leagues now?
Yes, so I'm returning back to OTSS on Tuesday nights. I took like a three race break, just to get some real life shit situated and figured out. And now I'm back. I ran last night actually at Bristol Motor Speedway. It's in the Xfinity car, and joined Michael Hayes' team. And he and I finished second and fourth last night. Mike had the fastest car on the track, and he dominated most of the race. He led over half the laps, and just cautions didn't fall his way or my way. We should have finished first and second, in my opinion, but it just didn't work out that way.
Yeah, speaking of cautions, I guess we want to talk about our good friend, the Lady in Black, this past weekend.
Hell yeah, we do.
Listen, hot take. Everybody's gonna hate me.
Oh God.
Bubba did that shit on purpose.
Oh
Brother,
God.
okay, hold
Stop
on.
it.
Let me.
Stop
No,
it.
no,
I'm
you
I'm
dumb
just kidding.
ass.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was about to pull up the data.
I'm just kidding. No, I like the GDP policy. That's what it is, right? That
The
D,
what?
D,
is that. Well, I said it all wrong. What is it called?
I think that's a
See, I
political
don't
thing,
even.
Jacob.
this man's out here. I don't even know what the fuck we're talking about.
What the fuck?
Doesn't GDP have to do with your rate of return on your stock investments or some shit?
What is the damage
The,
thing?
The
The policy?
DVP, the damage
Yeah,
vehicle
see
policy.
that. You see, yeah, that. Yeah, the
Yes.
DVP. One of those three-letter sentences or
Oh
you're
God.
you're gonna
combinations that we got going on here.
you're gonna fuck around and
Anyways,
say, oh man, you're gonna
The
fuck around and say
goddamn policy.
he's gonna say DDP like Diamond Dallas Page. That's what he's gonna do next.
Oh god.
No, I like it. It's the goddamn policy. So with that GD policy, it allowed Kyle Larson to get back out there and learn a few things for the next time they come through the track. But at the same time, it's like you're not going to make up any more positions than you've already got. Like you gained one position by coming back out, and that was 100 laps before you brought out another caution. You ruined Ryan Blaney's chance of winning, and I don't know. I don't know how to think about it. I'm a Kyle Larson fan, but at the same time, it's like, what are you doing?
I
I'm sure Kyle Larson didn't even want to be in the car. It was more of like a hey, let's just go out and get data.
I
But
think they said he was watching the race on his phone in his car while they fixed the car. That was kind of wild to hear. Um, it sucks for Ryan Blaney. He legitimately, I was telling Josh and Ross this the other day. He's been the best car all season long across every race, and he doesn't have anything to show for it. It's pretty crazy, between the way the cautions fell this past weekend, his pit crew absolutely just torching him on pit road, and then the mechanical failures back to back weeks earlier. I guess at Homestead and where was the other one? Wherever he blew his other engine at. I guess it was 2 weeks in a row. I think is
was it wasn't Coda, was it? Did he
no
blow?
Coda. No,
No,
it
he
wasn't
didn't blow.
Coda. If I wasn't so lazy, I would literally just pull up the schedule. But anyway,
He hasn't had
he
the best luck.
he has not had the best luck, and he had the best car start to finish, um, all
For
race long.
for a lot of the races that he hasn't had the best of luck at, he's had actually all season he's had a fast car.
The way he was running that bottom lane below the dash, the white hash marks, I have rarely seen anybody run that line that consistently and be that fast. I mean, he was, I think, a good 3 to 4 tenths faster than everybody on most runs. Pretty wild given where he was running on the track.
Yeah, I mean, every time I'd see him, he'd be below those lines, and you just don't see that. Like you said, it was because like generally they would go down there and they drift up by the wall, maybe brush it. He was just hauling ass. Um, but at the end of the day, Dennis bringing it home. Denny Hamlin. Um, what was the first thing I sent in the Discord? When he won.
Probably no one cares plus ratio.
No,
Yeah,
11.
something about it, Chase Elliott. I'm pretty sure.
No,
Yeah.
11 against the world. That's all I gotta say. That's
Enjoy
two in a
your
row.
regular season wins. I can't wait to watch them not be a part of
Choke
the
it off.
I
championship
seen,
four.
hey, I seen this fucking
Bum.
picture on Facebook, and it was a picture of the NASCAR Cup Series championship, and it says, uh, touch the championship. So I touched it and it pops up the image, and at the bottom it says, "Now you've touched more championships than Denny Hamlin." And I was so fucking pissed. Like,
True.
I was,
True
I,
and
was-
real.
I if I knew Discord wouldn't send the whole image and it would just send like half of it for like people could have the same experience I had when I opened it, I I was like, okay, this is gonna be funny. It's gonna bring up somebody. No, it's just Denny Hamlin. And this is our year. I sound like a delusional Cowboys fan. But this is our year. He's gonna win the championship.
Jacob, what's worse, a delusional Cowboys fan or a delusional Dennis fan?
they're they're about the same.
No.
I know a couple of delusional Cowboys fans, and obviously I'm best friends with a delusional Denny Hamlin fan. So um, honestly, I'd rather put up with a delusional Denny Hamlin fan than a delusional Cowboys fan.
Yeah, I can't disagree there, unfortunately.
Cowboys fans are just they're on another level.
It's a different breed of delusion. Yeah. So that was the Cup race. Nothing. We seen Brandon Jones, um, win uh, uh
Glad to see
another
him in victory
race.
lane. To be
Yeah, I would say
honest,
we seen him win another race. It's been years since he didn't win in that junior motorsports car when he went over, um, and then he goes back to Joe Gibbs and he wins again. He's not bad. He's just there. He has his weekends where he runs
Well,
top five.
he's also just really good at Darlington. It's like this.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand why, but he's just really freaking good there.
Yeah, and I was listening to Junior's podcast, and he was basically saying like he's glad that he got the win, and that it sucked that like they just couldn't do nothing for him while he was at JRM, and
To
he
be
went over
fair,
to JGR, and now he's winning. So it's cool to see.
cool is one word for it. I have thoughts about that, not really related to Brandon Jones as a person because he seems like a genuinely good guy. But part of the issue at JRM was, when he did have fast race cars, he ended up in a wreck. He had borderline zero luck at JRM, which is unfortunate. But I don't know. It's hard to stay on the outside looking in. It's also hard for me to fathom him going back to JGR after the crap that went down in Martinsville with Ty a few years ago. I can't imagine going back there, but I don't know. They must
Well,
have resolved whatever that was.
it's different now. I mean, Ty's up in the Cup Series sucking it up. So I mean, he's not in the Xfinity Series anymore, so it's not like you got to deal with him. Other than maybe if he comes down and runs a one-off race. Um, so
I think it's more so the background stuff, not even just racing against Ty. I mean, the bottom line is that he kind of got the Austin Hill treatment for uh, RCR from Joe Gibbs Racing because it was
yeah.
Ty doing it, but he didn't really have a lot of support there, and so it's just I don't know, kind of hard to believe that just changed in a matter of 2 years. But like I said, I'm sure there was background stuff that got resolved behind the scenes for him to want to go back there. So I don't know. I mean, he genuinely seems like a good guy, so I'm glad he got a race win.
Yeah,
Well, there's really only three Xfinity teams. Like, if you want to win, there's really only three that are kind of there, and it's RCR, Joe Gibbs, and Junior Motorsports. Um, so I mean, he was already at Junior, wasn't really winning there. You talked about the bad luck and getting involved with the wrecks. Had the past with Gibbs and left there to go to Junior Motorsports, and RCR is full um, with Love and Hill. So uh, I mean, he wants a top ride, and JGR is there, and obviously he's winning again, so he's already locked himself into the playoffs. So that's good. Um, but I
if I
just
ever find sponsorship, because that honestly that's all it's about now is sponsorship, and if you have the backing for it. If I ever find the sponsorship, I'm I'm gonna go and try to drive a race car.
where
Just let that be known somewhere.
I uh I
I'm gonna find a way into NASCAR.
I I would love to just test a Legends car at a road course. Um, because like I know they do the summer shootout series at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but I also know that they run the Charlotte Road Course, not like the NASCAR one. They have like a Legends course that they run. I would just love to turn some laps, um, just in that. But also, I like karting. Karting's fun. Um, I don't, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna stick to sim racing.
Well, I'm actually going to touch on something that I've seen come up on my feed the last few days as we kind of shift topics. But um, before we get to that, because it has to do with sim racing kind of translating into real world racing. But before we do that, I just kind of want to talk about the drama with Legacy Motorsports and Rick Ware Racing with the $45 million charter that they've purchased.
God damn.
Thoughts, boys?
I
fuck
Go
is he
ahead.
coming from? Like that's a
That's a
lot of
great
that's
question.
that's a lot. Okay, hold on. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money for. And I'm not saying NASCAR's not making a lot of money, but they're not making. I'm gonna spend $45 million for a charter money. Does that make sense? I
Makes
mean,
perfect sense to me.
the
Well,
I'm not really sure why it's valued at that either, but you know, what do I know?
I would say we just drive fake race cars on Monday and Wednesday nights. Um,
yeah. And speaking of sponsors and stuff, we can plug in a few. We have Ghost Athletics, who's coming on board with the Truck Series on Monday nights, and Grant Designs is going to do the ARCA Series on Wednesday nights, and we have a few sponsors throughout the seasons of both that are going to be sponsoring the races. So we just wanted to shout out all you guys and thank you for making CRO what it is.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, thank you to those guys. Honestly, we couldn't do it without them. Um, you know, it's it's fun to have Ghost be in the league, but also be associated with sponsorship as well, and for him to kind of help us get those connections. So, yeah, that's cool for us. But shout out to them. And then kind of switching gears from sponsorship. So I had touched on the sim racing kind of, translating to real life, and you guys had mentioned your interest in getting in an actual race car. Did you see that the setup on Max Verstappen's car from Friday to Saturday was purely changed because of his friend's sim work on the Suzuka circuit? And that's where they got
Uh,
their car changes from?
did not see that.
I did
Yep.
not, but I did
Yep.
see Doin's dumbass. Um, okay, okay.
Throw the Hail Mary in turn one.
Like I applaud the effort, because like there's things I've done on a sim before I went go karting that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try it, and then next thing I know, I've jumped a curb and I'm airborne, and then I land again. Um, but like the DRS detection zone is coming out of the final corner on the front straight. In the sim, he was able to take turn one with DRS still open and gain a few tenths. Okay, that's cool. Even if you blip the throttle, it closes the flap. All he had to do was just lift off, close the flap, and now he's got downforce again, and he can make the corner. Like it translates. The sim translates very well to real life. That's why NASCAR drivers, F1 drivers, that's why every driver uses it now. But I mean that there's a reason why nobody does that. The DRS is only for the straights for a reason. And he just kind of sent it into turn one, because
So
it
did
was
he just
working.
like forget to cut it off, or did
If you
he just
if you,
thought it was going to help him?
so the there's the DRS zone, the detection zone where you can open it if you're within 1 second of the car in front. But in practice and qualifying, you can open it whenever. Um, so they were in, what was it, free practice 2, I think, and once the DRS is open, um, the only way it can close is, I believe it's the button again. If you hit the
Correct.
brakes, or if you lift off the gas, it closes. Because at that point, the car realizes you're about to go into a braking zone, and it gives you downforce again. That's the way the DRS works. He noticed that in the simulator, he could take that corner flat out with DRS open, giving him a few extra miles per hour going into turn two. It's a At Suzuka, it's kind of like a sweeping right-hander, and it goes into a tight right-hander, and then that's when it leads into the S's. Um, but he noticed he could take that corner flat out, and then he tried it and caused, I think it was $1.5 million in damages for Alpine,
Wow.
which is look, Franco Colapinto is looking really good right now. To take that seat, because
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, for a guy that was answering questions on his debut weekend about, um, you know, whether he was or how long he was gonna last in his seat to be 3 races in, and he's wrecked out in 2 of the 3 weekends. At some point, whether it be in the race or FP, um, it's not really doing himself any favors.
no, not at all. And I'm talking about that. Hadjar finished in the points, um, and
And
was
Behrman.
asked, and Behrman as well. Behrman's good. Um, hi- him being in that Ferrari seat for Sainz when he was, and all that stuff wasn't a fluke. He's just a really good driver, especially for him to do that in a Haas. Um, which has put out a statement, by the way, saying they are being affected by the tariffs. They are an American team. As that kind of develops, we'll talk about that more. But they just kind of put out like a statement saying that, um, they're the where they order the parts and everything is being affected by the tariffs. Um, but to go back to Hadjar finished in the points and was asked if he could move up to Red Bull, would he? And he says he's ready whenever. Um, I don't think I don't think he's ready. Um, but I mean, hey, they put Liam Lawson in that seat, so fuck it, just put anybody in it. Um,
I mean, there's legit jokes about the Racing Bull being better than the Red Bull second car right now. So I don't know why anybody would want that second seat. I mean, I understand from Yuki's perspective, um, it's something he's been working towards, but I honestly, especially for a younger driver, his Isaac's best route is to stay where he is. Anybody going to that second seat, at least for the time being, is just I don't know. It's hard. I mean, even Yuki, I felt like he had a clean weekend this weekend, and he still finished P12, so he didn't even get points.
he still finished better than Liam Lawson.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Look,
To be fair, as disappointing as Liam was the first few races in the second seat, it's hard to tell what a driver's actual pace is on their finish alone with the Racing Bulls, because I still say they have strategy that rivals Ferrari with how bad it is.
yeah, Ferrari's just not good. Which
No.
is crazy because like they've swapped their team principals so many times in the time I've been watching Formula One. Um, and it just seems like they can never get it right. And I hate it for Charles. Um, and he's never going to leave Ferrari. Um, he's in my opinion he's always going to be with Ferrari till he stops racing Formula One. And then if he stops racing Formula One, he's still going to drive a Ferrari wherever he goes. That's
So
just
can speaking of Ferrari, can I ask why Lewis Hamilton went there if they're not good? Like, did he expect to go there and be a championship contender?
Caleb can probably speak to this better than I can, but I am under the impression that based on the Mercedes pace at the beginning of last season and the end of the season prior to, coupled with the fact that they didn't want to give Lewis a multi-year deal, he felt like the development of the car would not be where he wanted soon enough, which is almost ironic in the sense that now I feel like, granted, George has done a good job of getting good finishes out of that car, but so has Kimi so far. Um, but I almost The only thing I can figure is that Ferrari has shifted their car development to the new regulations. That's literally the only thing I can figure. Um, so I'm hopeful for Lewis that next season they will have a leg up, but it's honestly hard to tell. But I'm under the impression that he left Mercedes A due to the contract fact, but also B to the fact that he was not pleased with where the car development was at the time.
Oh, okay.
I'm I think Hamilton, if I'm being completely honest here, I haven't read up into it, so I could be completely wrong. Uh, I think he wants to win a championship for Ferrari, which would be also his eighth championship, which would be
Max
record
Verstappen's
breaking.
still my goat.
Um, eh, eh, I guess.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's hard to say currently that he's the GOAT when he's racing against the guy who has more championships than him, but he very well could be at the end of his career. You never know.
I mean, what he's already got four, right?
Correct. Four in a row.
Yeah. So, um,
Going on 5.
To
I
be
don't know.
to be
Norris.
totally fair, he's still very clearly like he's head and shoulders above the guys that he's racing against right now in their current form. A few years ago you could have made the argument for Lewis, but obviously now he's head and shoulders above everybody else. That's why I don't know if you saw Fernando's reaction to his qualifying lap for pole, and he pretty much just said, only Max could do that. I mean, verbatim said only Max could do that. He just you can tell how much he gets out of his car every weekend. That's the only reason he's at where he's at.
I also I also had seen something saying that Toto had said something saying that they wanted to pick up Max for Mercedes, um, but Lewis, as long as Lewis was a driver for Mercedes, they would not pursue Max. But now that he's gone, they they want to pursue Max as a driver. But I mean, with the current lineup with George Russell, and then you also have a really fast and young driver with Kimi Antonelli, I don't see why you would at this point. Um, Kimi's fast, and I think it shocked a lot of people.
Well, eh, to follow up on that, I mean, this is George Russell has done a great job this season so far, but people are very quick to point out that he only has a 1 year contract. His contract is up at the end of the season. The reason that Toto signed Kimi Antonelli was because he said that he didn't want to miss out on the possibility of the future. I think that he feels like he missed out on Max Verstappen when he was younger, and I think he doesn't want to make the same mistake twice. So if if for some reason Max becomes available, George could honestly finish on the podium every time this season, but he will be the one leaving Mercedes. I know that's a hot take, but he will not be there next year if Max Verstappen's in the Mercedes because there's no way Antonelli's going anywhere. They've invested too much into him so far.
Yeah, I mean he's good. So I mean, it, it you wouldn't be smart to let, especially he's 18 years old, and he's doing what he's doing. So
Well,
that's
and if
impressive.
if he can't learn from Lewis, who else would you want him to learn from? I mean, would it not be Max?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, how's that working with all the other drivers they brought in for that second seat of Red Bull? You know, um,
But from my understanding is Red Bull's really not that good. It's just Max Verstappen.
Well, just to clarify, what are we talking about the second Red Bull seat here for? Because that Mercedes seat and the second Red Bull seat are two very different things.
oh yeah,
Because
no,
even if Max is not teaching Kimi how to drive the car itself, he's still learning from him. So I think it would be a different situation than what you're saying now with the other Red
if
Bull seat.
if Kimmy were to go, if Kimmy were to go to Red Bull and learn from Max there, I think he would have the same success that we're seeing Yuki and Liam Lawson have in the second Red Bull seat. But if he were to go to Mercedes, Max were to go to Mercedes. Oh, excuse me. If Max were to go to Mercedes and teach Kimi there, I think that would benefit Kimi more.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. No,
Yeah.
Kimi Antonelli is not going to Red Bull. That Mercedes is not letting him leave. That's not going to happen. So
Yeah.
if they are paired together, it's because Max is in that Mercedes. I don't think that's going to happen. But I mean, if you're going to put somebody in the car other than Lewis Hamilton, then I would want it to be Max Verstappen, no matter what car on the grid it is.
Yeah, and I think I don't know how many more years. I don't know how many more years Lewis is going to be on the grid. Fernando Alonso is, I know he's old, for an F1 driver, but I just so much wasted time is going into that Aston Martin, with Stroll and Alonso, because once Alonso leaves, where's the future? It's definitely not Stroll. I know I've kind of shifted topics here, but
Sorry, we've been all over the place this whole podcast.
yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah,
we haven't had a guest on. This is our first episode where we're just kind of talking.
We're
yeah. Sorry,
winging it.
So
they're stuck with us with just the three of us. I mean,
yeah,
We're winging it.
so
Professionals.
but yeah, I mean, just there this year's F1 grid has been vastly different from what we've seen in previous years. I mean, there's 4 rookies? Hadjar, Doohan, Antonelli, Behrman.
Airman.
That's it, right? I think.
Yeah. I mean, you have some people that want to claim Lawson as a rookie, but I don't count him as a rookie.
Well, he ran.
It's his first full season, which is why some people consider him a rookie. I think he's got enough races under his belt that he should not be listed with the others in that category.
Well, technically, is he by F1? Is he listed as a rookie?
That's a great question. I'm gonna look that up real quick.
Because I know you have to pay for your super license at the beginning of every season.
I don't
And
think he is.
well, because Behrman scored points with Ferrari, scored a bunch of points. Well, not a bunch of points, but because he scored points with Ferrari, Behrman had to pay more um than people that had been on the grid for 2 years. And this is Behrman's first season, which is insane to think about.
Okay, so actually they do have him listed as a rookie with F1. So they've got Lawson, Hadjar, Doohan, Bortoleto, Antonelli, and Behrman
Damn,
as rookies.
I forgot about Bortoleto.
Well, I mean, listen, he's what was he, a tier C driver, whatever the fuck Adrian Newey called him. Not Adrian Newey, Helmut Marko, sorry.
No, you're good. I have not I knew he was in that Kick Sauber. I just haven't seen him. Does that make sense? It's like he's been hidden.
I mean, he's in the Sauber, so that's not shocking, brother.
Yeah, oof. Yeah, where are they at this week? They're at Bahrain, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Oh man, that's it's gonna be another late race for us on the East Coast.
Actually,
It's a
it's
good
not.
track, though.
It's a 9 a.m. Start time or 11 a.m. start time on Sunday.
Oh really?
11 a.m. start time.
11
Like
11
this
a.m.
this Sunday.
11 a.m. Eastern
Oh,
Standard Time. Yep.
I might be able to stay up and watch it with you guys, or be
stay
awake and watch
Yeah,
up.
it with you guys.
you're an idiot.
Stay up. This motherfucker said stay up.
Listen, Jacob's in his own world, man. We know this.
Yeah, honestly, I thought that was gonna be like another like early morning. Now knowing it's 11, I'm kind of excited about that.
Their session
Yeah.
times are FP1 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. on Friday, FP2 11 a.m. to 12 noon Friday for FP2, Saturday 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. FP3, noon on Saturday is qualifying, 11 a.m. Eastern on Sunday is race.
All right.
Um, we are officially past. Actually, I went through and looked at the schedule last week. We are officially past the after midnight start times for the East Coast for the
Oh,
rest of the calendar for
let's
F1.
go.
So every other start time, I think the earliest start time is 7 a.m. in Qatar late in the season for,
Oh,
or
I
not
can dig
Qatar. I'm
that.
sorry. Azerbaijan.
Oh,
That's what we like to hear.
I love the Baku City Street Circuit.
We love some Baku.
That castle section. I don't know, something about it. Oh, excuse me.
It's probably because you can just
Oof.
hear Charles Leclerc just saying, "I am stupid. I am stupid."
Well, I mean, I don't know what the fuck he was doing that race. Just nosed the fuck out of that barrier. Um, yeah. I mean, we pretty much touched on all the real life motorsport. Um, if I'm correct, I believe IndyCar races this weekend as well at Long Beach.
That sounds correct.
Let me just go ahead and
I believe I saw the schedule for it yesterday, so it
yeah,
was a list of sessions for the weekend.
yeah.
We
So
need to get into more IMSA racing. I
that's
don't know
actually what I'm looking at right now.
if
Um,
they're started or not, but
yes. So IMSA races Long Beach this weekend. Okay, so we have a full weekend that we got to talk about next week. So we'll talk about on next week's broadcast. We'll talk about IMSA at Long Beach, IndyCar at Long Beach, the NASCAR series at Truck Xfinity Cup. They're all at Bristol, and then F1 is at Bahrain. So I mean that's a pretty packed weekend of racing. Um, but that's gonna be all for this episode of the CRL podcast. Once again, shout out to our sponsors, Ghost Athletics, Grant Designs, um, and be sure to tune in for the CRL Truck Series on OSR Network at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the first race of the Truck Series at Daytona. And be sure to tune in to the CRL ARCA Series at Daytona on OSR Network at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday for our first race as well. And that'll cap off our week with racing. And then be sure to tune in next Friday at 10 a.m. for the CRL podcast on Spotify and YouTube. Until next time, bye bye.